How does an organization develop a transnational strategy? How does an organization become transnational? I want to look at this from two frames, two challenges actually. One challenge is the pressures to keep your cost down. All companies are concerned with lower cost of business. And the pressures for local adaptation, pressures to adapt to your local markets. So, if both of those pressures are low, then in effect, you're in an international strategy, right? Both of those are low. That's what I would consider an international strategy. But as a company attempts to grow and at the same time they're keeping their costs low, they are decentralizing decisions and trying to locate their manufacturing in a few locations as possible. That then is a global strategy. That's what I call a global strategy. All right. Now, the opposite end of that spectrum, as a company attempts to adapt to local environments, I would call that a multi-domestic strategy, multi-domestic. So as you're evolving from international to multi-domestic, the opposite of the global strategy then is to create more differentiation in your services. And I would also say decentralize your decisions, right? In the global strategy, you're trying to maintain control and you want to centralize your decisions. But in a multi-domestic strategy, you're decentralizing your decisions, okay? And as opposed to being um, localized manufacturing or localized services, your service offerings are a little more fragmented, or your product offerings, product offerings are a little more fragmented. So the goal then is to manage both of those extremes. Okay, so moving from an international strategy where there's low cost of business and low pressures to keep the cost down and low pressures to adapt to moving to global where your pressures to keep your costs low are very high, or moving to multi-domestic where your pressures to adapt to local markets are very, very high. If you can somehow manage both of those, that is then what I define as a transnational strategy. All right. Thanks for listening. I am Dr. Hamilton.